Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta
Yuta
Padakama
Padakama, Sri
Shri
Guru.
Guru Vaishnavang Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tang Sajivam Sarvetam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Radha Krishna Param Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitam Om Jnana-timirandasya Dhyananjana Shalakaya Chakshuran Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradaya Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Tuje Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Garadhara Srivas Adi Shri Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And last but not least, Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha, Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo, Namo Namaha. So I am here by request of the devotees in the temple room in Vila Govinda Ashram. And so we have devotees maybe coming in and out because lots of activity, as you saw, taking place outside. But it's very good if we can pass the microphone over to Devashis Prabhu, our host, and he's given us the subject matter of Srila Thakur, Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur.
Yes, Maharaj. So, of course, today is his holy appearance day. And I just came a little while ago from the temple where we had a little festival in honor of his divine grace. And I sent some two articles, actually, but originally I was going to read the article that I published previously in Gaudiya Darshan, written by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, about Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. But then while I was looking through things for, to read at the Mott for the festival today, I came across what I want to read now, which is from Srila Govinda Maharaj. Well, it's kind of self-explanatory, but after reading that, I thought it was really wonderful. And I thought that would be nice to share with everybody this evening about Bhaktivinoda Thakur. I mean, it's a little long, and also the other article, I think, is even longer. So I'll probably just read this one with your permission. But it's very nice, very beautiful. You'll all like it, I'm sure. So it begins an English translation of a Bengali article prepared by Srila Bhakti Sundar Govindadev Goswami Maharaj from his lecture at Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math in Sridham, Navadvip, 29th of September, 1955. So the Bengali article was originally published on Sunday, the 17th of October, 1955, in Sri Gaudiya Darshan, Volume 1, Issue 3. On a number of occasions, more than 50 years after it was published, Srila Bhakti Sundar Govindadev Goswami Maharaj commented on this article as follows. I once gave a lecture about Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur and then published it in Gaudiya Darshan as an article. By my good fortune, Srila Guru Maharaj and Srila Swami Maharaj very much appreciated it. I sat down to write out the lecture, and it came out very nicely. I do not know whether or not it has been published since then. If not, it can be. It's in Bengali, but it can be translated. It's a very good article. I like it very much. And this is the article. Mukam karoti vachalam pangam langayate giri Yat Kripa Tamaham Vande Sri Guru Dinatananam. I offer my obeisance unto Sri Guru, the deliverer of the destitute, by whose mercy a mute speaks and a cripple crosses a mountain. Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Satchidananda Namine Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanuga Varayate. I offer my obeisance unto you, Srila Satchidananda Bhaktivinoda Thakur, the embodiment of Sri Gaura's potency and the greatest follower of Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhu. Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha, Kripa Sindhubhyevacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. I eternally offer my obeisance unto the Supreme Lord's devotees, who are the saviors of the fallen, oceans of mercy, and wish-fulfilling trees. Today, in the absence of Sri Guru Pada Padma from the mott, I stand before you all by his desire to glorify Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. A fallen, lowly, materialistic person like me has no qualification to chant Thakur Mahashai's supramundane glories. Aprakrita vastu nahe prakrita gochara, Veda Puranete e kahe nirantara. This is from the Madhya Lila of Chaitanya Charitamrita. Supramundane existence is not perceptible materially. The revealed scriptures repeatedly state this. The Supreme Lord and his devotees, his associates, are adhokshaja, transcendental. Their names, forms, qualities, pastimes, associates, and nature are all adhokshaja. It is not possible to understand them with the help of knowledge derived from the senses, akshaja gyan. This principle is proclaimed clearly throughout all the Vedic scriptures. For example, Nayat Matma Pravachanena Labhyo Na Medhaya Va Bahuna Shrutena, from the Katha Upanishad. The Supreme Lord cannot be understood by teaching, reason, or learning. So how can a fool like me describe the glories of the Lord and his associates? Still, I have stood before great, wise devotees like you all today, only by the merciful order of Sri Guru Pada Padma. Vaishnavera Gunagana Karile Jivera Trana, Suniyachi Sadhu Guru Mukhe. I have heard from the sadhus and gurus that souls are delivered by singing the glories of the devotees. I am unqualified. Still, when empowered by Sri Guru Pada Padma's mercy, even a stool-eating crow can attain the position of the Supreme Lord's carrier, Garuda. A cripple can attain the ability to cross a mountain. A great fool can illuminate all directions with the light of genius and learning. And a mute can become an orator like Saraswati. Therefore, I first of all bow to Sri Guru Pada Padma and pray for his mercy, desiring to serve him. By the will of the Supreme Lord Sri Gaurasunda, the embodiment of his mercy, Srila Satchidananda Bhaktivinoda Thakur, appeared on this day, 117 or 118 years ago, in the village Bir-Nagar, in the district of Nadia, in the land of Sri Gaura. The characteristics of the Supreme Lord and his associates' appearance times are seen in the scriptures. When there is a decline of Dharma and an insurgence of Adharma, the Supreme Lord or his associates appear in this world to deliver or maintain the sadhus, destroy or subdue the miscreants, and re-establish the Dharma. Sometime after the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the exact condition had cast the souls of this world into darkness. Gradually, by the influence of time, the essential purport of all the scriptures, the completely pure Vaishnava Dharma, went into hiding, and in its place, the witch Maya's newer and newer dharmas of enjoyment led souls down dark, mistaken paths. As a result, Dharma became based on racial caste judgment. Ignorance took the place of virtuousness, sadhutta. Yoga became based on the pursuit of enjoyment. The cultivation of knowledge became converted into voidism. Japa was a practice to attain fame. Austerities were practiced out of animosity for others. Charity was given to procure prestige. Terrible adultery was committed in the name of loving service to the Supreme Lord, and even the intelligentsia was conflicted. Seeing the strong influence of time and the arrival of an extremely dangerous and fearsome condition in their lives of service, the sadhus became afraid. And when they made with anxious hearts their sorrowful prayers for the welfare of all souls, known at the feet of the Supreme Lord, Srila Satchidananda Bhaktivinoda Thakur, the embodiment of the mercy of the avatar of good for the world, the hero of Nadia, Sri Gaurasunda, appeared, increased the joy in the sadhus' hearts, as the father of Bimalananda, Sri Bimal Prasad Datta, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and illuminated the eastern mountain of Nadia to fulfill the desires of his Lord's heart. Though the birth and other pastimes of the Supreme Lord and his associates may seem like material things, they are supramundane or aprakrita. You all have heard this point many times. Bound by the results of their karma, souls are forced to take birth in this world in order to undergo the results of their actions. The Supreme Lord or his associates, however, compelled by mercy, accept the pastime of birth by their own will in order to take souls from the material world, the dangerous, anxiety-ridden world, to the spiritual, joyful world, and to bestow upon them their true fortune, the joy of the Supreme Lord's service. One, the conditioned soul, is controlled, and the other, the Lord or his devotee, is independent. A partial analogy: prisoners and teachers who benefit the prisoners can both be held within a prison. That aside, the Supreme Lord's associates do not take birth in any social class. Why? Although they take birth in the midst of a social class, they have no relationship with it. Hanuman took birth in a class of monkeys, and the Supreme Lord's carrier, Garuda, took birth in a class of birds. Nevertheless, the whole world worships them. Even in the scriptural laws for this world's spiritual social order, Daiva Varnashram, it is seen that persons born in any social class will be identified as a Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, and so on, according to the characteristics of their actions and qualities. A person's occupation will not be determined by their birth. Therefore, how will it be possible to identify the Supreme Lord's associates who are eternally liberated by the identity of their social class? For this reason, the teacher of all souls, Srila Sanatana Goswami, on the subject of the familial identity of Srila Das Goswami Prabhu, used the phrase Kayasta Kulabja Bhaskara, the sun above the lotus of the secretarial class. The sun has a small relationship with the lotus. The lotus is a soft flower born from water, and the sun is the revealer of the world, a glowing ball of fire. The class or definition of these two entities is not the same or similar, Still, the sun accepts a small relationship with the lotus by distributing itself to the lotus and causing the lotus to grow and bloom. The Vaishnava's small relationship with social classes is comparable to this. Though this example can only be taken partially, actually the social class the Lord's associates or devotees accept when they appear becomes purified. Consider this evidential verse from the scriptures on this subject. Kulam pavitram janani kritartha vasun dharava vasaticha dhanya nrityanti svare pitaro pitesham yesham kule vaishnavana medhayam. The social class in which a Vaishnava appears becomes purified. His mother becomes fulfilled. His residence or locality becomes fortunate, and his ancestors dance in heaven. Madbhakta puja abhyadika. Krishna said, worshipping my devotees is greater than worshipping me. If we consider statements from the scriptures like this one logically, we are also able to understand that the appearance day of devotees are even more auspicious than the appearance day of the Supreme Lord. Please excuse me a moment. I have to answer my front door.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki Jai.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry, had to receive a delivery. Right, where were we? If we consider from the scriptures like this, statements from the scriptures like this one logically, we are also able to understand that the appearance day of devotees are even more auspicious than the appearance days of the Supreme Lord. This is because the devotees' lives and character can give one a better chance to clearly learn about the Lord than the Lord's life and character does. It is for this reason that the Supreme Lord appeared in this world in the covering of a devotee as Sriman Mahaprabhu and taught devotion. In this way, the atmosphere of the world gradually changes by the appearance of Thakur Srila Bhakti Vinod, and the Thakur's extraordinary characteristics attract the keen attention of the virtuous and fill them with joy. In terms of his worldly identity, as a young boy with no father, he spent time at his maternal uncle's house, engaged in study and other activities. Seeing his astonishing genius, heart-melting behavior, unprecedented poetic capability, and deep attachment to Dharma, his relatives were astounded and exceedingly affectionate towards the boy. The Thakur strongly adhered to Dharma during his early life, and even Pandits were bewildered upon seeing his unlimited learning of all the religious scriptures. Even in his youth, Thakur Mahashai wrote numerous books in various languages. Seeing the boy's youthful beauty, his relatives had him married. When he grew up, as if he were an ordinary soul immersed in pastimes of karma, Thakur Mahashai accepted the post of a deputy magistrate, which was very difficult for a Bengali to attain, moved to Orissa, and lived near the temple of Sri Jagannath. At that time, he had a good opportunity to discuss Dharma. He established a stage beside the temple of Sri Jagannath Dev, and following Srila Sanatana Goswami Prabhu, would discuss Srimad Bhagavatam and other scriptures in the company of numerous devotees, Pandits and Brahmins, and cut away the bondage of material existence from the souls of this world. He would become so greatly distressed by the misery of the souls who were averse to Krishna, that from time to time, forgetting himself and loudly calling, "O Gauranga, O Nityananda, please once glance towards the souls of this world, O Lords." He would cry profusely. Because of this anxious appeal by Bhaktivinoda Prabhu to the Lord, the souls of this world one day attained the foot dust of the manifest embodiment of Sri Gaura Mahaprabhu's mercy, Srila Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada. Within a short time, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's name spread everywhere, and many educated and respected gentlemen joined him as servants during his pastimes as an acharya engaged in preaching the Dharma. Prior to Srila Thakur's preaching, the pure Vaishnava Dharma preached by Sriman Mahaprabhu had become so degraded, corrupted, and disordered by selfish persons that people considered Vaishnava Dharma to be extremely despicable, to be the Dharma of detestably low-natured persons. People considered it to be the Dharma of the Ols, Bols, Kartabhajas, Sahajyas, Shakibekis, Neda-Nedis, and so on, and they mocked it. Yet by the appearance and endeavor of Srila Bhaktivinoda, Vaishnava Dharma became free from degradation, again self-manifested its pure nature as the Dharma of the soul, situated atop the heads of all other Dharmas, and attained beauty like that of the newly risen shining sun in the sky of the world's Dharmas. All the virtuous souls understood that Vaishnava Dharma is the one and only, pure, effulgent, non-envious, devotional, and pleasing Bhaktivinodakari Dharma of the self, within which there is no duplicity or contamination. They understood that if all other dharmas are perfectly performed individually and collectively, then they will attain the beautiful position of stairs towards Vaishnava Dharma. The Dharma preached by Sriman Mahaprabhu can refute the misconceptions of so-called harmonizers of spirit and matter and reveal the one and only spiritual harmony of all dharmas. Thakur Mahashai substantiated this in his writings and endeavors. Actually, after Sriman Mahaprabhu and his associates, a second example of the way in which Thakur Mahashai protected the souls of this world from aversion to the Supreme Lord is extremely rare. No one ever saw that Srila Thakur Mahashai fostered an envious mentality towards anyone at any time. Yet he had not even a drop of hesitation to proclaim the impartial truth. He never indulged false devotion, non-devotional conceptions, or deceitful dharma in the name of devotion. His pen fearlessly and loudly declared the truth. He considered worldly fame, pratishtha, comparable to pig stool. At that time, the greatest playwrights of Bengal specially requested Srila Thakur Mahashai to introduce a drama about Sri Gauranga, but he refused, as he staunchly considered such matters adulterated. When a great yogi from Orissa, who declared himself to be an avatar of Mahavishnu, from the peak of a mountain of the pigstool of Pratishtha, was proceeding with his party down the road to hell and spreading thorns along the path of Sanatan Dharma, Srila Thakur Mahashai strongly repressed him. When Thakur Mahashai organized a campaign to purify polluted holy places throughout India, droves of fallen, sinful, and sorrowful persons felt themselves to be fulfilled by touching his cooling lotus feet. How many more examples about him shall I give? By his touring India, numerous antithetical dharmas were abolished. It is not possible for me to even summarize his glory with all these examples. Srila Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada, in a few verses, and elsewhere in extended form, briefly revealed the secret identity of Thakur Mahashai. Thereby the learned understood his true identity. At the end of his Anubhasya on Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srila Prabhupada wrote, Tanhara Karuna Kata Madhava Bhajana Prata Tulana Nahika Tribhuvane Tara Sama Anya Keha Dariya E Naradeha Nahi Dila Krishna Prema Dane. There is no comparison within the three worlds to his merciful teachings of the practice of devotion to Krishna. No one has ever assumed a human form and distributed the wealth of Krishna Prema like him. Say Prabhu Shakti Pai, Ebe Anubhashya Gai, Ihate Amara Kichunai, Javat Jivana Rabe Tavat Smariba Bhave. Nitya Kala Se Padachai. Receiving his mercy, I now present this Anubhasya, within which there is nothing of my own. So long as I live, I will remember him within my heart. I eternally aspire for his feet. Shri Gaura Kripaya Dui Mahima Ki Kaba Mui Aprakrita Parishada Kata Prakrita Ha Iya Seve Krishna Gora Bina Deve Aprakasya Kata Jatatata. He is the manifestation of Sri Gaura's mercy. What can I say about his greatness? He is one of the Lord's divine associates. He appeared and served Lord Krishna's non-different form, Sri Gaura. This expression is not to be spoken anywhere and everywhere. When we hear these few verses, our mouth and our pen completely stop. What am I thinking? Attempting to prepare a deity of Lord Shiva, we are making a monkey. Where is our ability to sing the Thakur's glories like this? What is the spotless character of this superhuman Mahapurush? And who am I? A most fallen, lowly human being. We simply have the solace that even a remote connection with Srila Bhaktivinoda Prabhu can bestow ultimate auspiciousness upon the soul. Actually, Thakur Mahashai's mercy, flowing in thousands of streams from thousands of mouths, has purified the universe. There were no materials, thoughts, or subjects which Srila Thakur did not connect with Krishna. In his endeavors, two currents are predominant. Like the flow of the Ganges, he, by his practice and preaching, purified the entire world and transformed it into materials for Krishna's service. And like the flow of the Saraswati, and Veda Vyas, he churned all the Vedic scriptures and freely distributed everywhere the butter of Krishna Prema in an easy and simple way. In this world, there is no comparison or substitute to Srila Bhaktivinoda's unparalleled gift. In the world of literature also, Thakur Mahashai's unprecedented greatness has been and will be remembered always and everywhere. Today, Thakur Mahashai's published and unpublished jewel-like books, his books of aphorisms, hymns, songs, and lectures, his books about the Lord's pastimes and the science of rasa, his books of critical review, commentary, and interpretation, his books on theology, poetry, composition, and philosophy, and all his other noteworthy books, being further illuminated by the pleasing serving light of Sri Chaitanya Saraswati, have shown that they are non-different from the supremely compassionate origin of all avatars, non-evil producing mercy in uplifting the souls in this world. Time is short, so I will say a couple more things and then take your leave. Srila Bhaktivinoda Prabhu showed the fulfillment of all his endeavors in his service to Sri Gauranga's Dham. You have all heard about the manifestation of the Dham. Many selfish persons opposed its discovery of Sriman Mahaprabhu's birthplace in many ways, yet he unwaveringly fulfilled Sri Gaurasundar's desire of manifesting the Dham so perfectly that today the lies from the tongues of these selfish persons have stopped. They cannot find any way to suppress Mayapur anymore. Everyone now freely sings Mayapur's glories. In a phrase, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur was the combined form of Swarup, Sanatan, Rupa, Raghunath, Rai Ramananda, Haridas, Sri Jiva, Krishnadas, and Narottam. This is because the fulfillment of all the Goswami's endeavors is seen within him in full form. In manifesting the Dham, in restoring the lost holy places, in writing spiritual books, in establishing the truths of devotion, in renunciation, in philosophical analysis, in preaching about the Lord, and in the pastimes of delivering souls through Harinam Sankirtan, the fortunate souls who saw the glory of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's extraordinary ability in all fields rolled about at his feet. He appeared on today's date. Thus today is also supremely worshipable, desirable, and merciful. I have no gift with which I worship this great day, but you are all great devotees. May you mercifully grant me the qualification to worship this holy day. By your mercy, may earnest prayer for Srila Bhaktivinoda Prabhu's mercy awaken within me. May I be gloriously adorned internally and externally with the kirtan prescribed by Sri Gaura, and may I be engaged in the service of Sri Vinod Saraswati's followers eternally. This is my prayer. Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. I offer my obeisances unto the Vaishnavas. I think that's pretty wonderful.
Hare Krishna. So, we're probably going to, okay, I hope that the computer can manage it all on our connection. So, dear devotees, we've heard really the authoritative description of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And today also there are various links to Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur in audio and in text. And Srila Gurudev, we were listening to this morning here, our morning program, during the morning program, we were listening to Srila Gurudev, and he said very clearly that without Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, we would not have Krishna consciousness as we have today. He was the beginning of the next wave of Krishna consciousness after Mahaprabhu himself came to give the conclusion of Srimad Bhagavatam, the holy name, the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and to give the opportunity to come to Goloka Vrindavan for all. With the Lord himself, Mahaprabhu, he's come with the greatest gift, but that gift, it was only running in a very thin thread by the time Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur appeared. And Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he read Chaitanya Charitamrita many times when he was young, when he came across Chaitanya Charitamrita. And then he was very enthusiastic to re-establish the grand nature, most generous, pure, perfect nature of Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu and his message in the world. And then Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he came to reveal the heart of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And this is how Srila Guru Maharaj described that Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he was vastly learned, He was a very capable, responsible person in society, but he was a householder. And the general populace, in India, they don't give so much attention to somebody who's a householder, in the sense of they want a sadhu, they want somebody who is celibate, somebody who is dedicated all their life, somebody who's focused. And Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he prayed for the appearance of, or for the descent of one of the Lord's own persons to come to this world in order to set right the message of Mahaprabhu in the eyes of the public, instead of it being seen as, instead of Mahaprabhu's devotees being seen as like degraded and just coming to the house to beg something, and then people just give them something and send them away to get them away from their house. Instead of a low opinion of them because of their behavior, as we just heard just now, some description that Bhaktivinoda Thakur was shocked to see the behavior of those who were following Mahaprabhu. They degraded the teachings of Mahaprabhu by doing all kinds of nonsense. But Bhaktivinoda Thakur recognized, understood, it was absolutely clear to him what Gauranga Mahaprabhu came to give. And so he prayed that somebody from the upper world will come to establish again that purity, that pure message, and to spread that current, that descending current of Gauranga Mahaprabhu. And so it is by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's prayer that Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur appeared in this world, came to this world. And Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he carried out that duty, that but from the heart, from everything, to present the heart of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And there is a verse, and maybe Devashish has it, this Guru Dham, Grantha Dham, Dham Dham, this verse of Srila Guru Maharaj, which describes Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur as the giver of the Guru. He's giving us Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, but he's also giving us the scripture. And he himself composed a whole list of books from a young age. He composed a whole list of books, of which we know prominently the Sharanagati, the Gitavali, the Chaitanya Shikshastikam, the Jaiva Dharma, his Anubhasya that we heard just now on, was it, am I correct, Anubhasya was by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur?
No, Saraswati Thakur.
Srila Saraswati Thakur. But Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he gave also two, he gave a commentary on Chaitanya Charitamrita named, I don't recall, but this morning in our reading in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srila Prabhupada was quoting from his commentary on Chaitanya Charitamrita, some comment that Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur had made. And he gave two commentaries on Bhagavad Gita. But anyhow, there is a long list of books. So he himself wrote books, but he also gave commentaries on the established scriptures. And Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he gave us the Dham. And again, we heard just now these glories of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. But he revealed Navadip Dham, and again, another famous book by him is the Navadip Dham Mahatmya. Another is the Navadip Bhavataranga, describing the glories of Sri Navadip Dham, which had, by the will of Providence, and as was predicted at the time of Mahaprabhu, just after that time, it was predicted, and it happened, that the Ganges washed away the whole of Navadip. It actually became lost in the sense of it was washed away, that Navadip of the home of Mahaprabhu and the places of Mahaprabhu, the appearance place of Mahaprabhu. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur gave us the appearance place of Mahaprabhu also. And so Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he gave us so many things. And all of this was made available to us through Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur and through his eager distribution, forcefully trying to let everybody understand. Why doesn't everyone understand this message of Mahaprabhu that Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur has openly presented to the world in his writings, in his commentaries, and in his teachings, and in his debates, his talks, so many things, so many ways. And Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur revealed that. And Srila Guru Maharaj, very famously in his own words, he understood how Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur saw Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur primarily as his Gurudev, his spiritual master. And Srila Guru Maharaj composed the Bhakti Vinod Dwadashakam, if I'm not mistaken. Please correct me if I've got anything wrong here.
Viraha Dasakam.
Viraha Dasakam. Okay, thanks, Devashis Prabhu. Viraha Dasakam, we do know, but sometimes say the wrong things. And so in there too, then Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, when he read this, he said that Srila Sridhar Maharaj has captured Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur within this poetry. And so, there are so many indications that are showing us the greatness of Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur and the continuation of that greatness being distributed through Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila Guru Maharaj, and through our Parampara system since then. Of course, Srila Prabhupada and Srila Gurudev. So today is Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur's appearance day, and it's one of 2 days in the year in Navadip when almost all of the Gaudiya branches, how there is a trunk of the tree, which essentially in recent times, that trunk of the tree is Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and then that many big branches, smaller branches, and big branches with smaller branches coming from them, of the expansion of the disciples, sub-disciples, and the distributors of the message of Mahaprabhu from the time of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur through the generals of his mission, headed by Guru Maharaj. So in course of time, so many temples, so many big branches, smaller branches have come, and those all have got their origin in Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur and Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. The common ground is there. And so 2 days in a year, 2 days in particular in a year, in an organized way, most of the temples, mats, ashrams of Navadip and the whole Navadip area, many, many temples there in Mayapur, they come together in some solidarity, actually to show to the government also, please don't mess with the devotees so much, because sometimes they were taking land from temples, things were happening, and they felt they needed to show some solidarity. And this solidarity was shown in the unity that everybody has this recognition of Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, and all of the devotees of Mahaprabhu, they have that recognition of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And if they don't have recognition of Bhakti Vinod Thakur and Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, then we understand that something's a little missing, or a big amount missing, because this is the mercy current coming up to bring consciousness of the very goal of life to the whole world. So on this day, the devotees will come together and they go in Godrumadeep from Swarupganj in Navadip. Godrumdeep is one of the islands of Navadip, the 9 islands, Simantadeep, then Godrumadeep, then Deep, then Koladeep, ... for the 9 islands of Navadip, with Antadeep in the center. And so our devotees of Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math board a boat called the Titanic in our time. And it kept afloat, it didn't sink. And for some reason, the Titanic is a famous name of a boat. And so somebody in their wisdom or otherwise, wrote on the gave the name of their wooden fishing boat that they also rent out for, us to get on. They gave it the name Titanic. So the devotees chant with extra intensity while making the journey from just by Gauranga Setu, the bridge that crosses over the Ganges very close to our temple. From there, they go there in Sankirtan, in procession, and with Mridanga and kartals, going down there with Sankirtan, and then arriving there. They go actually in 2 or 3 boats, and one of the boats is called Titanic. And then on the boat, they're chanting all the way up. We are chanting, they are chanting all the way up. And it's also very sweet because on the banks of the Ganges on each side, people are bathing and doing other things, but people are bathing on the banks of the Ganges. And so lots of people do see the devotees heading up to Swarupganj, and at Swarupganj they get down from the boat, and there the different temples, they meet up with grand Sankirtan, with a chariot of a murti of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and they take this chariot around the area, and then we come to the temple of Gaur-Gadadhar of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and it is also where his samadhi is, and it's under a huge, beautiful, most auspicious banyan tree. I mean, a huge tree, and we don't know, well, it must be there at the time of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, that's sure, but we don't know whether it was there in the time of Mahaprabhu. But we can think that these old trees, of which there are old trees around, we can think that they may well have seen Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and be hence associates of Mahaprabhu and liberated souls, because the trees will have heard all this Sankirtan. But that tree, it is right there where Bhaktivinoda Thakur famously, as Guru Maharaj expressed from his next door neighbor, who became Parvat Maharaj later on, a disciple of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He expressed it in the mornings, he would hear Bhaktivinoda Thakur chanting his japa loudly, his japa, as if calling directly the person Krishna. And so that grand tree has heard this, has heard the pure holy name from such heart, such personality. So we go there and then already combined together with the chariot procession and the grand Sankirtan, and go there to give honor to Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur on this day. So this is one day. The second day, when all the devotees board the boat called Titanic, chant Hare Krishna sincerely and go upstream, is for Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's appearance day. So this is the unity within all the diversity of the Gaudiya line. The unity is Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And really we can say because all of the senior godbrothers, the leaders of the various branches, after Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, they all look to Guru Maharaj. So this unity is there with the leaders, the great generals of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. That unity is there also to take shelter and to praise Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Rakhak, Sri Radev Goswami Maharaj, and hence Srila Gurudev, then as a young boy, as Gurudev would say. So we do have unity, and that unity is with the substance of what has been delivered to the world by these great masters. And it's the substance that always Guru Maharaj is stressing. It's the substance that Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur was stressing and wanted to be brought to the surface, and not all the wrong things that the people were doing in the name of being devotees of Gauranga. And this also, we must be careful with our conduct, and the devotees all should be careful with their conduct, so that again, we don't get that situation when Bhaktivinoda Thakur appeared, when the name of the followers of Gauranga, the reputation of the followers of Gauranga, was heavily tarnished, even very disrespectfully considered, because of the bad behavior of the followers, who quickly left from the purity of what Mahaprabhu gave and the focus on really following properly spiritual life, Krishna consciousness, under the shade of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Nitai and Gauranga, they have brought us everything, and Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has brought us everything, and that everything has become manifest as the wave has increased and grown, so all over the world. Then we have the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. And now from 1965, 1966, when Srila Prabhupada came to the West with that message, as a disciple of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who, as we know, sees Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur as his guru, then in this way, the world has been introduced, and then introduced to Krishna consciousness, and then that Krishna consciousness protected, developed, and presented to the world the continuation of Srila Prabhupada's distribution. And that through Srila Guru Maharaj, that through Srila Gurudev, Srila Govinda Maharaj. So this path of Krishna consciousness is all originating from Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur in the recent time, and our worldwide good fortune to come in touch with such teachings and be connected with them, not just to read about them in a book about India or something, but have the practical application of the teachings of Mahaprabhu through Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur and presented to the world through our parampara. That this is a huge opportunity. It's so rare to find. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, his appearance day, is a super day, and a day when Gurudev and Guru Maharaj will be very joyful in chanting their glories. So I think everybody's, I hope, has been singing some songs of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, ourselves too, very happily. Some of his songs are very heavy, but some of his songs are very hopeful also. And some of his songs are very high also. So as we go through Sharanagati, for instance, there are some high songs there. And we can give honor to those high songs in the sense of we can perhaps read the Bengali and then go through to the songs which are safe for us. And Srila Guru Maharaj, as Gurudev said, he tick-marked 32 songs of Sharanagati and gave that to Gurudev in his very early days in the mat and said, learn these 32 songs within 7 days, not 7 years, 17 years, 27 years, 37 years, however many years. Okay. Within 7 days, learn those songs. And Gurudev repeatedly referred to that and repeatedly chanted the glories of the book Sharanagati. And Guru Maharaj said about Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's kirtans, he said that previously Thakur's kirtans were the main kirtans that were sung by the devotees, as well as Lochan Thakur and others. But Narayana Das Thakur's kirtans were the principal. But when Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur composed his kirtans, then they added more substance to the sentiment that had been given by Narottam Das Thakur. And in this way, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's kirtans, as well as Srila Narottam Das Thakur's kirtans, became the principal nourishment, the principal songs, kirtans of the Gaudiya Vaishnavas. So the sentiment, the mood, the feeling, with this, the Siddhanta, with the understanding and this, like, more of the substance behind, given by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And that's not to minimize what Srila Narottam Das Thakur has given in the least, because Srila Narottam Das Thakur has given us also the highest, what's regarded as the highest kirtan within our Gaudiya Sampradaya, and that is Sri Rupa Manjari Pada, as well as so many other songs that we sing, also on a daily basis, Hari Haraya Nama Krishna, etc. But Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's compositions, they stand out in so many ways, and the Sharanagati book was very much stressed and appreciated by Gurudev. And we were reading this morning. Yes, we were reading. Oh, yes, we were reading. Oh, we were reading this morning. We were reading this morning about, it was Srila Gurudev saying, giving this example, that we all know teenagers, boy and girl, they just become totally in love and forget everything else. And, you know, this kind of youthful love, you can say, youthful attraction to each other, it's just like overwhelming. But Gurudev said, when I read Sharanagati, when I was given Sharanagati by Guru Maharaj, that kind of unbreakable, fully engaging, youthful, loving relationship I had with Sharanagati. And that, I mean, Gurudev, how expertly, like, using English or using any language, but with the words he knows, the expressions he knows, he first has the expression and then very beautifully, sweetly using English to express that. So this way, Srila Gurudev said, when that book was published, he was so happy to see it published. And in the Bengali version, it was published in a small, it's not a big book, it's 50 songs. And when it's in Bengali, it's 50 Bengali songs. You don't need a Bengali translation to a Bengali song. And that book, it's a small book, golden colored, a golden colored book. And Gurudev, so happy with that book. Hare Krishna. And if we want to know Srila Guru Maharaj, if we want to know Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, if we want to know Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, then Srila Gurudev is our source, our joy, everything. And he is expressing so beautifully. Hare Krishna. Okay, we had a long reading. I don't know what the time is. Oh, look at that, 8:30. Okay, I found the time. But Kum Kum Devi is here, and we love to hear from Kum Kum. Are we allowed a few minutes extra, Devashis Prabhu?
Yes, Maharaj, of course.
My dhanyavad to Devashis Prabhu and Maharaj and all the Vaishnavas that are present here. What an extreme happy day this is, to be able to see those devotees who have quite a week, because we know that this means what our perfection of life is, and that is Guru and Vaishnava Seva. So we're very honored and happy to be in this association. And actually, I feel very fulfilled in hearing from both of our speakers today, and I hope that everyone in the world will hear of this to understand better about Srila Thakur Bhaktivinoda. I can only remember the very first time I ever attended this particular program, which was many decades ago. I learned the word for the first time, Yukta Vairagya, and in description of how what we offer to the Lord is not an external understanding of renunciation. And Thakur Bhaktivinoda is giving the highest gift of Krishna, while himself not looking externally like a renunciate, and also giving the greatest renunciate, Srila Saraswati Thakur. And so for us to understand that the Vani and And the gifts from the gurus are exactly what we are after. Nothing external.
Jai, well, that was short to the point and from the heart. Beautiful, Kum Kum Devi. Yukta Vairagya. Jai. And by the way, there are so many things which we think about, we can say about Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, his life, extraordinary things that Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur did in his life. He was so capable. And today we were discussing throughout the day at different times with the devotees too. And Srila Guru Maharaj would say, different people have different capacities. And Srila Guru Maharaj gives an example. A king may rule a whole kingdom, but he has plenty of time for his family, for this, that, and the other, for looking after his social duties. And somebody else, then they may have just like one wife, one child, and they could spend all their time looking just to manage their family, what to speak of anything else. But so this comes in our mind when we think of Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, because he had a sizable family, I think 11 children. Plus, he was a responsible magistrate, as we heard before. Very difficult to get such a position within the British rule at that time. But his genius was about that. So many things of how he was the most capable within the judiciary system, etc. And the other magistrates, they were wondering, how can he cover so many cases so perfectly in a day? Anyway, lots of things. We can't go into every matter. But when we hear of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, like his whole responsibility, responsible in his material life, responsible in his devotional life, how much he gave for writing all these books, for reading, for studying, for discourses, for giving classes, for giving lectures, etc. And all of this he did as like one person, and showing that the capacity of somebody to have a whole household of 11 children, all the household responsibilities, your job responsibilities, and devotional service. So who better to hear from than Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur about how to make your household life successful? It's good to study, read, and absorb the Sharanagati, because really everything is there to help us to see how we can be a devotee in every circumstance. So anyway, lots of things come to mind. Many miracles in the life of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And obviously we can't go through those now without making a clock go backwards, which we are not able to do. So Devashish Prabhu, over to you.
Yes, Maharaj. What can we say more? Actually, we could say much more, like you say, but we can't make the clock go backwards. So then we'll have to be satisfied with what we've had this evening. And I think it's substantial. So only left to say, Jayam Vishnupad, Satchidananda Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Mahashai Ki Jai. Jai, Jai, Jagat Guru Om Vishnupad, Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev, Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad, Kulu Churnamani Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Rupanuga Guru Bhagya Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Acharya Brinda Ki Jai. Srila Bhakti Ranjan Madhusudan Maharaj Ki Jai. All the assembled devotees Ki Jai. Jai Bila Govinda Ashram Ki Jai. Samadvaita Vaishnava Mandali Ki Jai. Sri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Nitai Gaura Premanandi. Hari Hari Go Vanchakalpa Turubhyascha. Kripa Sindhu Bevacha. Patitanam Pavanebhyo. Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha.
Jai Sriman Devashis Prabhu ki Jai. All our West London devotees gathered there ki Jai. All over England and Ireland devotees gathered there ki Jai. And our all over the world devotees, Latvian devotees, American devotees, Italian devotees, unlimited numbers of devotees from everywhere ki Jai. And those who are seeing also the recorded version, appreciation to you all. And it's super, as always, to see everybody's names and also to see your form when you reveal it through the camera. And so, I mean, we're too many to mention, but we're here with appreciation to you all, from all of us here, and with all best wishes. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Shri Gurudev, Jai Shri Guru Maharaj. Nitai Gaur Premanandi. Hari Hari. Thank you, our translators. I mean, I shouldn't say thank you. Appreciation, appreciation. Now you can breathe a few breaths of your own.